Hello guys, this video will be quite interesting because it will be partly demonstrating of our QuickAdminPanel Vue.js version with SPA, and then in addition to that AdminPanel, I will live code the front-end part. So one of the goals here is to show that backend could be SPA for better UX or whatever reason, and front-end for, in this case, FAQ management could be a simple Laravel page with some design or without design. So we will create an FAQ page, knowledge base, with categories, questions, latest articles, and tags. So structurally, around 5 minutes of this video will be our QuickAdminPanel stuff, and then I suspect around half an hour of live coding without almost cutting anything. So you will even see what bugs I make and how I fix them. So you will generally learn quite a lot about structuring Blade, about Eloquent, and how to structure all the routes and MVC stuff. So let's begin our journey. So let's start a new admin panel, new project, and we choose Vue.js version. Create, and let's call it FAQ page. Everything default, and we create. And we will need 3 menu items, 3 CRUDs. So tags, categories, and questions. So we create new CRUD menu item, tags, and all we need is one field name, which is required, and we save the CRUD. And now we will be able to manage the CRUDs, so it is generated under the hood. But it's happening in the background, and we can create another menu item, which is categories. Categories, also name, and also required. So each of the question will belong to many categories and belong to many tags. Or actually, let's make it a bit different, so one category and many tags. So I will show both belongs to and belongs to many relationship. So we go questions, then add new field belongs to relationship to one category, so category. And the system automatically will add _ID. We choose the model to belong to, so category, and choose the field to show in the list. So it's not a relationship field, it's a field of category that is shown in the questions list. We save, then belongs to many tags, belongs to many relationship, tags, and model tags, and also name. We save, then question title, required, and question answer will be a text area. So text area, answer, let's make it optional and not use CKey editor, and we save the CRUD. And now we can download the code and install it locally. Here's the instruction on the screen. It's a typical Laravel project with Vue.js on top, so we need passport and npm commands, and I will show you how it looks on my local computer now. Okay, successfully installed locally. This is the result of the latest npm run dev, and if we go to project3.test, local daemon what I've prepared, we see this landing page, and we can log in with default admin.com, and password is password, and we can manage tags, categories, and questions. So that's our step number 1, the admin panel on Vue.js and SPA single page application, because if we go to, for example, tags, you see the network that tags are actually coming from the API. So it's all single page application on Vue.js with API powered by Laravel. Now let's briefly take a look how that project works under the hood in the code. So it's a Vue.js and Laravel SPA as I mentioned. And in this demo project we will add a front end to it. So admin panel is actually here. So whenever the user is logged in, they have only one route on the Laravel backend and everything else is handled by the front end. And then in here, for now, it's automatic redirect to login, but we will replace that with front-end theme, which will be not SPA, which will be Laravel and Blade. But for now, for this section of this video, let's take a look at the Vue.js code. So for example, there's a resource admin app.js CRUDs, and every CRUD has a folder with components like this one. So questions index view, the template part is just Blade HTML based on Bootstrap, and the actual data table is here, powered by data tables this npm component, which we had to fork actually. It's under Laravel daily now, but the original one is here. And the reason for forking was that this package is not supported anymore. Officially it's deprecated. So we didn't make any changes yet to that forked version, but we forked it just for the sake of maintaining it if we need something. And according to that documentation of that package is just data table, and you specify columns, you may specify more stuff, and this is all baked in our Vue.js generated component, data tables with a lot of parameters, also separate components for data tables actions like buttons, some Vuex stuff to get the global data, and quite a lot of sophisticated Vue.js code. And on the back end, if we take a look at app HTTP controllers, API version 1, admin, and for example, questions API controller, it's just loading the question resource, which is loading all the questions like this. So question with category and tags, advanced filter, and advanced filter is actually this. It's a global scope in a trade to be able to filter the data for data tables. So the backend is pretty simple in terms of Laravel. The whole logic is inside of Vue.js and frontend. So you may take a look. The project will be on GitHub, the code. You may analyze that and then try to generate some QuickAdminPanel with our Vue.js version. And now let's leave QuickAdminPanel aside and let's do custom coding of a front-end version, front-end landing page for questions and FAQ. So our goal is to transform this Bootstrap theme into our Laravel project. This theme is available for free on GitHub. It's an old one, 4 or 3 years old, but structurally it fits our needs with some design. It's not really pretty, but structurally it's an FAQ page. So in the next section of this video, I will show you how to transform that HTML into Laravel Blade with assets. So you can apply that knowledge to transform any theme into Laravel project. And I've cloned that repository and I have opened that in Sublime here. And here we have index.html. And in our Laravel project, let's change the routes web from redirect to route view index, like this. And let's create index blade, resources, views, new, file index blade PHP. And let's copy and paste static index.html here. And we need to replace the assets, so anything JS or CSS should be loaded with asset like this. So asset like this, and then CSS on top should be here. Okay, and then we need to actually copy the CSS and JS into our public folder. So let's copy all the CSS, font, images, and JS, copy into public here, and let's try to merge. I hope I haven't overwritten any system file, but no, our admin panel is called app.js, the file, and here we have main.js. And now let's refresh the page. Let's log out of the admin panel, and here's how our homepage looks, exactly like in the theme. But for now, it's all static. It's all in index blade without any variables, so we don't take our questions from the database yet. But before we take care of that, let's simplify our homepage and let's decide what we won't do. So we leave login, but we don't leave sign up. Then we don't need that menu. We won't implement the search because for that probably you would need something like Algolia or Elasticsearch or something for text-based search. This is outside of the scope of this video. Then I'll probably remove this one and let's leave only categories and questions. Also tags on the right side. The latest articles are probably okay, and popular, I won't implement the popularity. And in the footer, we don't really need that footer, so we will remove that. And I will do everything in index blade. So remove sign up, and here we have route login. Images logo actually should be asset. Like this. Then navigation, we don't need navigation at all. Search is also not needed, so we remove that as well. Main section. Let's refresh for now. What do we have here? Refresh. Login actually should work, so if you click login, we are in the admin panel login page. Let's click back and let's remove some more stuff. So latest video tutorial is also not needed, like this. Categories is what we will implement, and then sidebar, this is okay. Popular articles are not needed, latest articles are okay, popular tags are okay, about container is okay, but the footer, We don't really need the footer, this one. What we do need is the actual footer for the copyright. And let's refresh again. So categories, latest articles, popular tags, and about us, and the footer. That's it. So these things we will implement from the backend, and now let's try to do that. So let's create a controller for that. PHP artisan make controller index controller. And now instead of our routes web PHP routes view, we will have route get and then array. We are doing new Laravel 8 syntax, index controller, class, and method index. And let's open that controller. And the thing I've done just now was exactly the reason why that change was made in Laravel 8, so it would be easily clickable in IDEs like PHP Storm. And we do public function index and return view index with some variables. And now we will fill those variables. So index blade, let's run through that and let's see what we need. Main section, article with categories. So we do categories equals category model with questions get, and we pass that to the view compact categories, and that relations needs to be created. So in category model we do public function questions return this has many questions class. That's it. And now in our blade, instead of hard coding everything, we are doing for each. So for each categories as category, we are doing div. So instead of general, we have category name. Here we will have category questions count, and then we have for each of the questions. So for each category questions as question, and for each we will take care of the links to article and category a bit later, but for now question name, and we delete everything that we don't need here in the list, and we don't need more sections here. That's it. Actually that's gone too, and view all is probably not needed either. Let's delete that one. So now we have for each of the categories with questions. Actually, I forgot the and for each for the categories. And for each, let's reformat that. And let's refresh our page, and it probably should be empty. So our home page, no categories and no articles. And let's try to create one. So we log in with a new tab, admin.com password. And let's try to add a category with fake filler, some kind of category, and then question, add a new question, choose a category that I've just created, another one with the same category, we save, and we refresh our home page. And as you can see, there is a category, but there's no question, and probably I've specified a wrong field. It's not a question name. Let's take a look at the database. It's question title. Title here. Refresh the page again, and now we have our categories with questions. Now let's take care of the sidebar, so latest articles, and for that we use the controller, so latest articles, question latest, which is ordered by created at descending get, and we pass that here to latest articles. Actually, it's not just get, it should be take 5. And then we do in the blade for each of the latest articles on the sidebar here. So for each latest articles as latest article title, and for each, and we delete all of the other static ones. Refresh, and we have 2 articles ordered by latest. Now tags, let's add some tags here. So tag, for example, clothing, whatever, toys. I'm just randomly coming up with some eShop tags. Food, And let's assign those tags to questions. So we edit some question and assign, for example, clothing and toys. And another one will be just toys, for example, and food will be not present. And let's show those most popular tags on the sidebar. So in the controller, we do popular tags equal tag with count questions get, and then sort by questions count. For that, we are using Eloquent method with count, which returns the relationship with underscore count, and then we can sort by it, but not before get, because it's not the field from the database. It's a collection field, so we can use it later after getting all the collection. And now let's create that relationship to questions, public function, questions, and here we have belongs to many, remember? Return this belongs to many question. Like this. So we have our popular tags, and let's pass them to the view. So popular tags here, and in the blade here we'll have for each popular tags as popular tag, and for each tag name tag. And let's remove all of those static ones like this, and let's see what we've got. Maybe I made some mistake, I'm not sure. Refresh. Okay, we have undefined variable, and I intentionally won't cut it from the final video so you would see that I also make mistakes and how I debug them. So undefined variable, let's go to our blade, and of course the variable should be popular tag, the variable. And now we refresh, and we have our popular tags, but in fact we should show only the tags that have articles, that have questions, and we have only 2 of them. So let's filter another condition. So has questions, another eloquent stuff, refresh, and we have only 2 tags. And now let's implement those individual pages. So article page, category page, and tag page. So this will be our article page, and we need to create a blade for that, and that blade would extend the main layout, so we need to create the layout file, and then we need to fill it in with details, with title and actually question and answer. So we open Sublime again, and let's scroll to single article HTML. We copy and paste, and we create article, actually question. During this video, I'm mixing questions and articles, so I hope you get it. Question blade PHP, we paste, but actually what we need is inside of the question itself. We don't need all the sidebars in HTML and all of that. We need the, I've scrolled up, article, the actual article section. Everything else is irrelevant, and let's extract that to layouts app or layouts front or something like that, so we can copy and paste all index blade into layouts, new file front blade PHP, paste. What is not going to change in all of the pages? So the main section will change, so that part will be content, yield content, and everything else is static. And then in the index we do extends layouts front, and in the content we need this, and section content will be this until here, I think, and section, and we delete everything else like that. And this will be our internal page. Let's refresh the index and let's see if it still works. No changes, so that works. So in our question blade we should do the same thing, so extends and section to here basically. Cut, paste. We won't implement breadcrumbs, so let's delete those as well. Article is cool. There are also comments, but we don't need those either. We won't implement them. Let's delete all the footer section and do and section. Let's create public function question, and let's use route model binding, so question like this, and return view question compact question. And in our routes, let's have route get to question / ID to index controller question, like this. And let's extract that to use so it would be more readable. So use that controller, and then we don't need to repeat that every time. Index controller, index controller. And let's give that route a name, name question. And in our index blade, let's add a link. So category question, here we will do route question, question, like this. I think it should work. Refresh the page, no errors, and click that. And of course we don't have latest articles. Let's repeat, for now at least, let's repeat those two things. So latest articles and popular tags, and we will extract them a bit later. Now let's refresh the page, and we have our article. For now it's a static article. Let's change that. So in question blade, the title is question title, and article info is irrelevant. We don't have that info, and article content will be inside of a paragraph here. I'm mixing those two because article comes from the theme, from the bootstrap, and question is from the database. Answer. And let's delete everything else here. We don't need tags or even comments. So, and article, like this. And comments, we won't implement them in this project. And comments, like this. And let's refresh. We don't have that question. It's empty. Why so? Let's dump the question and let's see if it actually is filtered from the database. It's empty. Actually, let's skip the question. I'm not sure why route model binding doesn't work here. Actually, what if we just change that to show, and in the routes change that to show? Would it work? No. So let's skip the route model binding for now, and let's have ID here, and then we do question equals question find or fail ID. Refresh, and now we have the question and the answer. And let's also add those links to the latest articles. So in the index blade, route to the question should be on the sidebar as well, and our sidebar is actually on the front blade. So latest articles here, latest article. Refresh that. Let's click, and it works. And the final thing we need to implement is the category page and tag page, and they will be actually the same thing. It's the search result, just search by tag or search by category. And in our Sublime, we search for single category HTML, and we don't copy everything, we copy only things we need. So here we have articles, and this is exactly what we need. So articles, I've copied all the section, and now we'll paste it into, instead of index blade, let's do file save as, search results blade, and inside of content I will just paste this one. Next let's do a route, so search and search name search, and I will pass the parameter of category ID or tag by ID with get parameter. So if we go to our controller and do public function search, we will return Vue search results with compact questions, and we will get the questions, question. For now let's do all, and also let's copy and paste those two, so latest articles and popular tags. And in search results let's change that to for each questions as question. We don't need article info, and for each, like this, and this will be a link to route question, read more, and this will be question first letters. So substring question answer, for example 50 characters, ... We copy and paste the link as well here, and question title, and we don't need anything else. This will be all inside of our for each, like this. So like this. And in our index, let's have a link to the category. So instead of single category, we will have route search with parameter category ID equals category ID. And route search should be a named route. Probably we haven't named it, or we did have a name. Great. And let's refresh the index page. So home page, and let's click the category. As you can see, we do have a search result, and if we click read more, you get into the article. But now let's change that title, so category general. So in here we have page title and questions count. And page title will be if request category ID, category equals category find, like this, else we have a tag. So tag is tag find, tag ID, and page title equals category name. In this case, it's a tag name. Probably we should check some more for security, but I won't do that in this video. So tag name, page title, and we pass that here. Page title. And let's refresh. Category name with 2 articles. But we still have question all. So how do we do that? And we can use eloquent when statement, so question when. But since we already have if else for the page title, I will just cut and paste into questions here. So where category ID equals request category ID. Get. And in this case, for tags, it's a belongs to many relationship, so it will be a bit more complicated. It will be where has tag function query. Actually, it's tags from what I remember. And query where ID of the tag equals request tag ID. Like this. Tag ID get. I think it's like this. Refresh. We still have 2 articles per category, but now what about tags? In our sidebar in index blade, actually it's front blade, in the tags, let's replace this one to route search tag ID equals popular tag ID. Refresh. Click clothing, and we have 1 article. Click toys, and we have 2 articles, and this title is correct. And final thing, as I mentioned, let's extract those latest articles and popular tags into somewhere. And for that we will use Laravel function called Vue composers, or in fact we have Vue share here. There are a few ways how to structure that, but probably the most simple is Vue share in the app service provider. So we open app service provider. And in the boot method, we do Vue share, and Vue should be, I think it's this one, facades. Let's double check. Yeah, facades Vue. And instead of key value, we do latest articles, like this. And value is this one, like that. And duplicate popular tags, like this. Paste, import the model, like this. And we can probably delete those here. And like this. And let's refresh the index and see if it works. So index page, no errors, articles and tags are still present, so let's delete those as well in here. And in here, so in search as well. Page title is needed, but those two are not needed. And let's click around, see if it's category. Page is okay, and now we have article, and then we have a tag. So that's it, a simple live coding version of creating a front page for FAQ page on top of or in addition to AdminPanel generated by our QuickAdminPanel, which may be generated with Vue.js like SPA or with an old version of Laravel and jQuery data tables. I hope you've learned something from this video from my live coding, and also if you have a new project which requires AdminPanel or general structure, use our QuickAdminPanel, and by doing that you actually support this channel, so the more money is earned by QuickAdminPanel, the more time I personally have to shoot free videos like this one. And see you guys in other videos.